All right, here we go. Today we're going to go ahead and create enemy spaceships. It wouldn't be a game without the enemy, right? So let's get started. First, I opened up my Construct 3 and my STEM Fuse lessons, of course. I want to just make sure that when I play my game, it's exactly where I left off. Yep, this guy, he shoots up bullets and he moves back and forth. Sweet. All right, good. Just making sure that we're together. So, step 1, create the enemy object. You should be getting good at this. So it says, oh, look at this, on your own, create a new sprite. So there's two different ways you could create a sprite. You can either right click on object types. Whoa. I believe you'll need to be on your game page. You could either right click on object, so what I did was I clicked on my game page here, and you could either right click on add object type, or you could just right click anywhere on your layout and it'll say insert new object. So we'll scroll down here to sprite. It says resize the enemy. So in order to resize, we're going to click anywhere with those crosshairs, and the resize button is this. Nope, crop. All right, resize, and we're going to resize it to be 64 by 64, and it says design an enemy spaceship in the animations editor. Okay, well, let's see what I got here. Some students I've seen have actually been importing load an image from a file. That's completely okay. I don't have that set up. Like, I don't have a file set up, so I'm just going to go ahead and create my enemy spaceship. Enemies are evil, right? So we'll make him dark red. Okay. For now, that's going to be my enemy spaceship. And so all I have to do is click off here, and it says move the enemy spaceship to position 75, 75. So what I'm going to do right here is in my property bars, I'm going to expand that so I can actually see his position right now is 306, 145. I know that there's like not a lot of room to see here, so let's see. I'm going to type in 75, 75, press enter. That's the size of him, and to be honest, I know we're working on really small spaces here on the Chromebooks, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and view zoom out, so then at least I can like kind of see what I'm working with here. Haven't seen what tile map is, but I'll leave it. Oh, look! I forgot to name my sprite. So if you forgot to name your sprite as well, that's okay. We're going to come right here and we'll click rename. And this is going to be enemy spaceship. I feel like I always forget to name my sprites. Sweet. Next section. Is this how I get to the next one? Okay. Add multiple enemies to the layout. In order to have multiple enemies, will need to make additional instances of the enemy sprite. You could do this by selecting the enemy object, then holding the control key and dragging copies of the spaceship. So it looks like I'm going to hold down the control key, and whoa, look at that, and I've got more. Using this method, create 9 enemies in the back row so you can adequately test the game. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and it told me to test my game. Nothing's going to happen, but I guess I could just see that they're there. I didn't tell anything to happen, so nothing could happen. Here we go. Next section. Oh, wow, theirs are all nicely lined up. I wonder if we were supposed to do that. Well, I don't really feel like doing the math. What I would want, though, if you want them, let's go ahead and just do this right now. Let's make all of their positions be 75 at least. Oh, look at that. I was doing a pretty good job. So we want all, what I'm doing right now is I'm changing all their Y positions to be 75. I'll change their X positions in a moment. All right, cool. So they're all in a line. Next, we're going to add turret behavior to the enemy sprite. So add a new behavior to the object enemy. So by now you should kind of be getting comfortable. We're going to make sure that this is illuminated over here or highlighted. We'll add a behavior, add a new behavior, and we're going to go find this new one. We haven't used this yet. It's called turret behavior or turret. I don't know. All right. Select the behavior under movements and add it. All right, cool, we did that. So what does this do? This behavior can automatically detect objects within a certain range and rotate towards them. Oh, that sounds cool. It optionally includes features to determine when to fire as well as predictive aim. Cool. So adjust the settings. So now let's adjust the default settings for the behavior. When an enemy sprite selected from the object types folder in the project bar, change the rate of fire to 10 to increase how fast the enemy shoots. So here we go. This is how you modify your enemy, right? And it says rate of fire rather than 1, we want it to be 10. You'll notice how the other settings you'll notice how there are other settings. For now, we'll leave those as they are. At the end of the game lesson, feel free to play around with them to develop an original twist. So, there's other settings that you could play around with, but we're not going to do that right now. Next, create the enemy bullet object. Okay, so here we go. We're going to add a new sprite. Should we test this? I wonder if it does anything. Alright, maybe, not yet. So add a new sprite. I'm gonna right click on my layout, add a new sprite. I'm getting pretty good at this because I've actually gone through and I've practiced creating this game a few times just because I really wanted to, like, get my skills to be quick. So make it a solid color and 10 by 10. So this is the resize, and we'll do 10 by 10. And then a solid color. We'll do light blue. That sounds fun. And then position the bullet so it starts off screen, add the bullet, and destroy outside layer behavior to the object. Okay, so again, I always forget, so I'm just gonna try and, I don't know, let's see, this is enemy bullet. I always forget to name my sprite. Confessions. So now we're going to add the same two behaviors to our enemy bullet that we had to the player ammo. So I'm going to come down here to behaviors. I'm going to add the bullet. That's self-explanatory. And then we're going to add one more. This is destroy outside layout. You want to add this because otherwise your bullets, like even when they go off screen, they're still going to be like computed in the game. And if you can delete the bullet once it leaves the like border or your screen, it won't be taking up any more like additional space or memory to run your game. So there we go. And then the last thing it said to do is, this is just a technicality. Remember, we had to push this guy off the screen to begin with. We're going to push this one off the screen to begin with as well. Whoo, look at that, halfway done. So program the enemy and enemy bullet sprites. Okay. So in order to get your enemy to fire the bullets, you need to add an additional event to your game. So on your event sheet, we are going to add a event. So remember, a lot of times your property bar might be hiding this. Go ahead and move that down. We're going to add an event. Double click the enemy object. Like my enemy spaceship. Okay. Scroll down to the turret section and double click on the on shoot condition. Oh, here we go. Double click. Sweet. So now that we have a condition, we're going to add an action. So we're going to say, when the enemy shoots, we want the enemy object to spawn a bullet. Okay, so my enemy spaceship, I think we came down here last time to spawn another object. Oh, and then you click on the object, and what we want it to spawn? We want it to spawn the enemy bullet. This is very similar to how the player bullet was created. The last action, so we're going to click done. The last action on this event, so same event, when the enemy shoots, what else do we want to happen? Copy the set bullet angle action from on space event and paste it into your actions. So I guess what it's saying is that we could copy and paste this. Control C, Control V. Oh, okay, so the way that I just did that was I clicked on this guy and I did Control C, and then I clicked down here and I did Control V. So you only need one of those. That's pretty cool. You can organize it. But we need to kind of modify this because we don't want our player bullets. I have a good feeling that we're going to change this to be the blue. Because look, we kind of want this to look the same as this. So paste it. Even though we're reusing an event, we still need to make a few changes. Go ahead, right click on the pasted event. So the cool thing about this tutorial right now is it's kind of showing you different ways. You could have just done add action and done all this, but it's also, some people are quicker with copy paste. So we're going to edit this, and rather than, just as I suspected, rather than, gosh, we gotta really go back. I feel like this is a waste. Anyways, so remember, we are trying to get the blue one to happen, and we're going to have the blue. I guess we're looking at, yeah, so enemy bullet, set angle of motion into 0. So you could have easily, if you didn't really follow that, you could have easily just done add action. We're going to set the enemy bullet. We're going to set the angle of motion to 0. Either way, you're going to get the same exact thing, which will make the enemy shoot downwards towards our player. So in this case, it would have been just as easy. Oh, that's it. Everything I just told you. Go ahead, give your project a quick save. Better to save now than regret not doing it later. Okay. I'm going to play this. Alright, they're still not shooting me. Add the on start of layout event. If you run your game now, you'll notice that the enemies don't shoot bullets. Cool. Good thing I was doing the right thing. You still need to tell the enemy to ship to target your spaceship. To do this, we're going to click the add event. So we're going to add an event and double click on the system object. Ooh, we haven't done that one yet. And then double click on the on start of layout. Oh, look. It's kind of crazy that these are highlighted for me. Located in the start and end game section. This event will run one time when the game starts up. Oh, cool. So when you start playing your game, whatever we tell to happen is going to happen. The next step is to add an action for your enemy ship to target your spaceship. Click the add action link in the on start of layout. Okay, yeah. And then double click the enemy object. So we want our spaceship to do something when the game begins. For the action, double click the add object to target action. So we're going to add the object to target. Here we go. Add object to target. In the add object to target settings, we're going to select the player object. So our target is the player, and then click done. Whoo, goodness. This has been a long video, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it and say, go ahead and get up to this point by the end of class today or by like the weekend, and then we'll kick back off with this next step starting on Monday or Wednesday, depending. I don't know. When Monday's asynchronous, but a lot of times I don't get full participation on those days, so that's why I kind of like am hesitant to doing it. All right, we'll pick back up with this.